Hey, happy new year, happy handicapping, happy everything. Welcome to the Ringer Gambling Show. Cousin Sal here. Anthony Dabbundo here as always on a Friday, and we have a Friday fill-in for Danny Heifetz. Who's stepping up? My God, what happened? Heifetz couldn't pass the breathalyzer? We have Tate Frazier in. Good job by you, Tate. What's happening, buddy?
I'm excited to be here. I apologize to all the Heifetz fans out there if they are looking forward to Danny's picks in the new year. I'll do my best to get them out there for you guys, and we hope Danny's doing well and having a happy new year as well.
He's still sobering up. He couldn't pass the test, Dabbundo. Ringer runs a tight ship here. Who's better, Dabbundo, Heifetz or Tate?
Well, I will say I'm a
Great
what have you
start.
done for me lately guy. And Heifetz, it's a coincidence. Maybe he doesn't show up the week after the Ringer Fantasy Show goes 1-4 and relinquishes the lead in the Ringer 107. You got to start to wonder, where is Danny Heifetz?
I wouldn't show my face either if I were him. Also, if you had to throw a pass to one of them, Heifetz or Tate, for $1 million, oh, forget it. That's a whole other thing. Did no one went out for New Year's Eve, huh? I wanted to talk about it. Dabbundo, you were our only hope. I mean, Tate Frazier is newly engaged. I thought we'd have some wild stories from you, Dabbundo, but no, you stayed in, huh?
My two New Year's Eve options were not particularly exciting for various reasons.
Go ahead.
And
Heifetz
I was
and who else?
excited to spend a night with the family. We watched. We didn't even watch the ball drop. We started a new show, so that was my New Year's Eve. Not a whole lot going on in the world of 27-year-old Anthony Dabbundo these days. It's a sad existence.
Yeah, it's extra sad, Tate, when you find out you're celebrating New Year's a minute and a half late, because now with all the streaming and the lag time and everything, and like that's a bummer, and just the last year was a bummer and whatever. But what's not a bummer is we have a dynamite show for you. We're going to go over those Ringer 107 picks, Tate. You're going to sit there and nod and say, you guys did great. You're going to go 5-0 again. We're going to have our NFL best bets, player props, plays of the day, 2026 hot takes. The Ringer Gambling Show is presented by FanDuel. FanDuel's got it all. Same game parlays, quick bets for jumping in live and your way so you could build the best bet that fits your play. Plus, don't miss out on the NFL playoffs all month long. Download the FanDuel app or head to FanDuel.com/gamblers to get started. You have to be 21 or older and present in select states, or 18 or older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. We're going to do that, but let's first recap those college football quarterfinal playoff games. There was only really one good one, at least for the January 1st. That was Georgia, Ole Miss 39-34. Big upset. The coachless Rebs do it. They move on to the semifinals. Trinidad Chambliss, 30 for 46, 362, 2 touchdowns. Dabbundo, my goodness, what a slap in the face this was to Kirby Smart and all the dogs.
It's really interesting because when they played in the regular season, it was not all that competitive. I know Ole Miss hung around on the scoreboard, but the underlying box score, all the stats were pretty heavily favored in favor of the dogs, and they kind of pulled away late. And I kept waiting for Georgia to pull away in that third and that fourth quarter, because traditionally that's what's been their calling card, and it just never happened. And I think it gets back to some of the concerns we had about Georgia in the midpoint of the season, which is that the defense just never was that great this year. And so the door was just always open for Ole Miss, and they dominated that fourth quarter.
Tate Gunnard came up just short. We've seen him pull out these fourth quarter miracles. I mean, you do Ringer Tailgate. You're all over this. I thought they were going to do it. He was they were both teams minus 113 when Georgia was driving to tie or go ahead. And I want to talk about that field goal in a second, but what were your thoughts on this game in general?
Yeah, I thought that they had a real shot there at the end, obviously, get a touchdown. We're talking a different story here on this day, but Trinidad Chambliss was the star in this game, and I feel like he kind of, got everybody to believe in him as sort of the answer, maybe the best quarterback we have left in the field. Obviously, Fernando Mendoza, the Heisman Mendoza, is probably the right answer, but Chambliss has been incredible. So encouraging stuff. I mean, the kicker for Ole Miss, as soon as Chambliss Chambliss threw that ball up to Stribler, you're just saying to yourself, okay, well, this is going to be over because this kid doesn't miss. And, Ole Miss, for them to be able to do this without Lane Kiffin is doing his best to try to get into the conversation. He's with Kim Mulkey holding her hand in the middle of this game. He's tweeting like the flag out for Trinidad Chambliss as he makes the big throw down there to Stribler. So, I mean, a very strange evening if you're an Ole Miss fan. It's like your ex is like, hey, I'm over here. Take a look at me. I promise I'm still involved, but a lot of good things to celebrate. And also at the end of this game, how many false flags do we have where it was like we dumped the Gatorade cooler, we put the stage on the field, then we have to move the stage, then we have to go kick it off again. Just a very strange ending, but very excited for Ole Miss because if there's any fan base that deserves it, it's that fan base after dealing with Lane Kiffin all year.
That ending killed me. Let's do the Lane Kiffin thing for a second here. So I thought that was an embarrassment. I mean, his team that he left is going on to do great things, and he's holding hands. Like you said, with Kim Mulkey walking out for a basketball game. And then he makes it to the game. At least he features his family, puts his family up there as a shield, Tate. Oh, look at my family. They're enjoying this. The kids are enjoying this. No way Lane's enjoying this, Dabbundo. I don't care that he got $500,000. The further this team advances, the more he has to do with LSU. Isn't that the way to look at this?
To an extent, but it is still his thing that he built. It hurts in the short term, but I think long term, Lane will be just fine. Like it might be a little bit of, oh man, maybe I could have stayed another year or something. But I don't think that when we get to next September and we're all talking about, LSU and what, Kiffin's doing, anybody's going to be like, well, he did miss out on that win or two that they had in the college football playoff.
No, but LSU now has to go very far, don't they, for this to be?
But that was always true, though, right? I mean, like if they go 8-4, 9-3,
I guess so.
It's not going to be enough.
I guess so. I have to say, you brought it up, Tate, that kicker, Lucas Carnero, 55, 56, and 65-yard field goals.
Insane.
Now the Raiders have a real decision to make between him and Fernando Mendoza for the first pick, as far as I'm concerned.
That's what I'm hearing, too. Yeah, great call.
I don't think you'll get more clutch than that for a kicker in a playoff game, pro or college. I mean, that's insane, those numbers. 65, 56, 55. Come on. I know it's not blustering wins, but that was a massacre what he did to that ball.
And the game winner. I mean, that was the other part. Like when he stepped up for that kick, I'm like, this is cash money. But at the same time, you're like, maybe this is the one that he misses because he set his career high with the 55-yarder, set his career high with the 56-yarder, and then sets his next career high. He had 3 different career highs in one game and a game winner. I mean, he was definitely the MVP.
All right.
Meanwhile, Jaden Fielding's missing chip shot after chip shot for Ohio State, costing them multiple games.
Isn't that weird? Like, isn't it weird that the best teams just can't have a kicker? You would, I guess you could say the same for quarterback, but kicker for sure. With these guys in the NFL booting 55, 60-yarders, you'd think the Ohio States of the world would have it figured out. One more good thing, and then we'll go after the goats of this, not the capital G goats. Sean McDonough, Greg McElroy, great job, phenomenal, as good as anyone. I thought, Tate.
I think they're the best. Not to take shots at Fowler or Herbstreit or anything, but right now, I feel like McDonough's having a nice little redemption tour where he loses Monday Night Football. A lot of people are just kind of like, okay, I'm done with Sean McDonough, but I love him on the call. I feel like McElroy has done a good job of, like, we obviously know his bias as an Alabama guy, but we also don't really know it because he calls the game fair and objectively for the most part. So it is nice to kind of have those two on the call, and it doesn't feel like they're there to kind of get their takes off or politic or whatever. They're just calling the game very straight. And in a world where everybody's kind of got their angle these days and everyone's thumping their chest out, it's just kind of a nice change of pace. So I wanted to give those guys a shout out as well.
Good job. Yeah, I mean, got excited at all the right times. McElroy, like you said, very insightful. It's hard to be insightful when the emotions are taking over too. Like right now, right? Like I have to keep it. Like Dabbundo and I had the same best bet for a minute. I had to keep that. I was furious, but no, now we're good. Listen, one more thing. Kirby Smart was a dumbass, Dabbundo. Change the name. Change the name. He was. I'm sick of these coaches going
Kirby
for
dumb.
it on 4th and 2. Everyone's going for it on 4th and 2. All right. At your own 33, you're not. A lot of these teams don't have a play for 4th and 2. We saw Oregon. They should have won by 40. We'll get to that in a second. But they went when they shouldn't have. What is it with the 4th and 2s? And then we'll get to that play at the end that left Lucas Carnero a minute to kick a long field goal. But what do you think about Kirby Smart in general?
I mean, this is the age-old thing, and I think Georgia. When you're the coach of Georgia, how many close games do you even play half of these
Right.
years? Like, you just kind of get to go on easy mode and you don't learn the skills that require you to make a great time manager or game manager. Most of the time, Georgia's not in 4th and 2 unless they're, already in plus territory. And so I didn't actually hate the call in the moment, to be completely honest with you. It's easy to say now. I didn't hate it, but it doesn't feel like there's actually a rhyme or reason to it. It just feels like he's going off the gut, picking it out of a hat and deciding in the moment. And that's a flawed process. So will he learn from it? No. Will we do the same debate next year? Yes. But in the meantime, yeah, it doesn't seem like there's a sound process in place.
I mean, worse than that, and this is not Monday morning quarterback, I promise. 3rd down and goal to go, a minute left, no timeouts for Ole Miss. You got to run Gunner out there, and if there's nothing there, he takes a knee. You got to bleed that clock. You don't give Ole Miss a minute left and to get a field goal, right? Tate, that was ridiculous. I was like screaming, and I'll tell you why I was screaming in a second. But that to me was bothersome.
I mean, even on that throw, I mean, there was nobody open down the field on that 3rd and goal, and he just kind of throws it into traffic and throws it away. I mean, if you're in the ear of Stockton there, if you're Bobo in his ear, you're just like, hey, if you have nothing there, just run, get down, like you said, bleed the clock out,
Take a knee.
and at least take the ball away from Trinidad Chambliss' hands, or at least make it so we're playing for overtime at that point. And I just feel like there was a couple of those moments that, Kirby Smart even said after the game, he was like, I blew a couple calls there and it's on me, tap the chest, but he wasn't making any excuses after the fact. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of on Stockton too. I know last year he was there in that moment, struggled in the Sugar Bowl. And I think probably if Kirby Smart has any say in the future, he's like, please don't send us to New Orleans because they don't like playing down there. Also, a lot of Ole Miss fans in the building.
All right, now let's talk about me for a second. Somehow I hit my FanDuel bet. I took Ole Miss over 27.5 points. I gave that out for everyone. I hope they had that. I hit Tate on Tuesday. I gave out Ole Miss plus 6.5. You had the other way. That's fine. You made up for it in other games. We'll talk about that. Dabbundo, I had a 3-team teaser with Georgia. Now, it was contingent on some stuff to happen Saturday, but Georgia plus 3.5. Will there be a worse beat than that? You have 364 days to beat that bet ache right there, down 3, returning the ball. Why? I don't know. 9.5 yards deep into the end zone on the kickoff, but whatever. He gets 2 yards outside the end zone and then just tries to lateral it to some guy who just got slaughtered. It's unclear if it was by his own player or by a Reb defender. And the ball slowly, it's still playing in my mind, goes and dribbles towards that pylon. I'm like, just don't hit the pylon.
You just go out of bounds. Yeah.
It's an effing safety, 39,
The longest
34.
4 seconds of your life.
It was unbelievable. I saw that
Bouncing,
pylon go down.
dribbling.
It was disgusting. I won't have a worse beat, right? I should knock wood. I shouldn't say, or should I just not gamble? Is there ever an instance more where God is telling you not to gamble than that?
I feel like we haven't had a big time Fumblerooski swing this year. Is this the first one?
What do you mean this year? January 1st? It's January 2nd.
Well, I guess
that is true. Yeah, good call.
Technically,
In my
the season
mind,
year
that's
just
the
started,
first
but
one.
this season,
Yes.
I'm trying to think back because usually there's like one a year. A couple years ago, there was that Steelers-Browns game where they lateraled in the end zone and it like swung the total and the spread. I feel like we haven't had one this year. At least I haven't seen one. So now you're the first one, Sal. But think about it. It was New Year's Day.
Yeah.
So it's only up from here.
Oh, yeah, great. I mean, how could it not be? And again, Kirby Smart, dumbass, bleed the clock, and I don't have to worry about that, but whatever. So Ole Miss, we'll get to the matchups in a second. They're plus 550. They're obviously 4th now. Well, I shouldn't say obviously, because I was unclear about this Miami thing. Miami stuns Ohio State 24-14. Tate called it. The ACC is back. Congrats. How did you know, Tate? How did you know this?
I don't know. I just I love the offensive line. I was laughing a lot at Cristobal on the sidelines. He just kept saying "let's F and go" every single time they showed Mario Cristobal. I don't know. I wish we had the over under on that line. But yeah, this defensive line with Ruben Bain, Mesidor, they were able to get a lot of pressure early. In the second half, Ohio State obviously turned it back up a little bit. Maybe some holding happening. I don't want to point that out too much, but they were getting away with some holds there in the second half. But it didn't matter. Miami was able to hold on. And if you told me before the game that Tony would have 2 fumbles fumbles, Fletcher would have a fumble, and Miami won by 10, I would say, how did that even happen? And it's because Carson Beck played a great game. Obviously, by the box score, not the best game, but the way he managed the game, he made some big-time throws. C.J. Daniels was a big answer for Miami in this game. And again, it's in the trenches. I mean, I love this O-line, love that D-line, and I feel like if you have those two, kind of groups going and playing at that high of a level, they can beat anybody. So I'm impressed with Miami right now. So.
And Dabbundo, we're so used to not needing an elite quarterback in these college football playoffs to make it far, just like we're not used to it when an elite quarterback doesn't make it in the NFL, right? Mahomes is out, Burrow's not in the playoffs. Maybe Lamar doesn't make the playoffs. We freak out. But Beck has been there before, and that has to count a little bit now, especially now going forward. They're plus 310, but I think they have just as good a chance as anyone now.
I mean, the way that their defensive line dominated that game was unbelievable. I mean, Ohio State has been up and down with their run game throughout the course of the season, but 24 yards rushing. I mean, some of that was the sack stuff, but they just couldn't get anything going. And as a result, like we saw the cracks of Julian saying. I mean, he hadn't been asked to do all that much this year. As for Beck, though, I still don't trust him. I'm sorry. I know the other shoe is going to drop again. Like we said this mid-season. We're like, oh, he's in the Heisman conversation. I was like, uh-oh, like that probably means we're going to sell him. The problem is I don't know if I trust anybody else in this field, or at least their next opponent notwithstanding, to actually take advantage of this. I mean, Miami is getting a lot of market love off of this win to the point where is it time to go against that and say that it's overreacted and I'm actually going to buy Ole Miss in the quarterfinal.
They're plus 3. I thought it would be a minimal spread at best. And now, I mean, we might as well get to it. It's 3.5. Miami is favored over. Oh, now it's down to 2.5. Okay. See, I should check these things. Okay. Down to 2.5. That's a little more reasonable, but I'm not sure. Tate, going back to what you said, not a great sample size, but last year, all 4 bye teams went down. This year, 3 out of 4 went down. They at least get off to a slow start. Is this the best case? Georgia, Indiana endured, but all the rest went down. Georgia, Ohio State, Texas Tech had byes. Is this the best case for going to 16 teams and doing away with the bye altogether?
I think it's the best case for condensing the schedule, right? Get rid of that Army-Navy weekend, or at least share that weekend. The conference championship game, get rid of that weekend, make that part of the playoff, right? I mean, it's already caused too much ire across the board with selecting these teams and trying to figure out who actually is the champion of the league. Just take the regular season record and say, hey, they're the champion of the league, and then we move on into the playoff. And then we can get this championship game done by like January 9th, which feels like still connected to the season. Maybe we can push the portal date back as opposed to January 1st. I know Saban's trying to pitch the portal for the summertime, so it's more aligned with the NFL. I think eventually we get there as well. But yeah, the record 1-7 for the bye teams is insane. And the only reason that Indiana was able to do what they did is because their coach is a maniac. I mean, Cignetti was complaining about practice days and about how they wasted days. And then, all these other teams are just like, hey, we're enjoying the experience and all that sort of stuff. So you really need a crazy coach like Cignetti to make the bye week work. And honestly, Mendoza got sacked on, 2 of his first 3 dropbacks in this game. And I was saying to myself, oh man, another team starting out slow. Then they got their feet underneath them and started playing some good football again. So Indiana was obviously the anomaly, but there's a reason why these teams are losing. And I think 1-7 is enough of a sample size to say maybe we change the schedule a little bit.
So you would say condense the weeks, don't necessarily get rid of the bye, but don't make it so that one team's gone 27 days without.
Yeah, we can't have a month in between games and then say that's an advantage.
Right.
Tate's just trying to get us to college hoops season more quickly.
See, we all Let's turn the page to Dabbundo.
The motives are underlying and hidden, but they're there. You can feel it. I don't disagree. I would shrink the playoff. I've said that you don't need more than 8 teams, although maybe you do because this year a bunch of the lower ranked teams just won anyway. But I'm not sure that lowering the expanding the field is going to be the right answer, because there's no way to expand the field without ruining some of the traditions, like an important rivalry weekend, like college conference championships. And if you do the strategy that Tate said with just naming the regular season champion the champion, these schedules are so imbalanced that
you don't think conference championship week's already ruined? Like how?
Oh, it already is,
anymore?
But that part of that is because there's so many playoffs.
But we're never going to recapture that. Like that, I don't care if it's.
I'm kind of pie in the skying here.
Yeah. I think that making it 16. I don't even want to placate the Notre Dame fans, but if you get it to 16, or just do the 12, but get rid of the 2 lanes and the the garbage that we saw in the week 1, you shut everyone up except apparently Dick Vitale, Tate, who has said Notre Dame would have done a bang-up job in this tournament. I don't know. Alabama won a game. Miami won 2. People are still screaming about Notre Dame being in. I don't get it.
Yeah, he watched the Indiana game and he said, you know what? Notre Dame is going to win the national championship, which is why we love Dickie V. He's the best, and obviously he loves Notre Dame football. He loves Duke basketball, and I've enjoyed kind of Notre Dame trying to insert themselves in any capacity. Like when Miami beats Ohio State, I had Notre Dame friends texting me like, if this was us, we would have won by 3 touchdowns. I'm like, okay, well, they won by 10. You know what I mean? I didn't know we were doing hypotheticals again, but it seems like everybody loves the hypotheticals in college football, especially.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
You just say that they haven't beat anybody and that they're all frauds. And then eventually a team wins, and then they're also a fraud because they haven't beat anybody.
Exactly.
Who have they beat? Who have they beat? Who have they beat? We used to do this debate in college all the time.
No one's unbeatable. No one's ever happy. Indiana, Alabama. Let's talk about that 38-3. That's the bye team finally winning. But worst Alabama loss since 1998. Mendoza 14 for 16, 193, 3 touchdowns. Someone commented that the Raiders deactivated their entire roster for Sunday. I don't know. I want to know what Brady thinks, Dabbundo, of Mendoza. So polarizing.
I think he's with Alex Earl. He's not worried about Mendoza.
I was going to say he's got other things on his mind. What game is he calling this week?
New Year's. Yeah.
He forgot that he has anything to do with the Raiders at this point. Back in October. Indiana ran 50 times for 215 yards. That was Black and Hembry. Talk about bad. I mean, Alabama 23 yards rushing. I don't care how slow a start the bye team gets. You're not going to win there. And now Indiana is a plus 128 favorite to take this down, Tate. Is there value in that? Indiana wins 2 games and you get a little better than even odds.
I just think Indiana is obviously the best team, but I also am a little worried that, beating a team twice is hard. We just saw that with Georgia and Ole Miss. And I think going up against Oregon, who kind of has their number a little bit, who didn't play their best against Indiana and hasn't really played their best in the playoffs. So I feel like Oregon's still kind of due to have a good game. Dante Moore, especially, to have a good game. I think Indiana's going to be on a little bit of a high. I do trust Cignetti to get them right and get them ready because we've seen that as he did with the Rose Bowl. He didn't let any of the distractions sort of get in the way. And Mendoza seems like one of those kids who just, he's like made in a factory to only care about football, which is sort of perfect. And
LinkedIn.
Yeah, right. Indiana's the right call, but I'm still a little bit worried that everyone's a little too high on them, especially going up against a team that's seen them before. So I'm worried about the Hoosiers in that sense.
It's a pretty wild market adjustment. I mean, it was
is the spread. Right. Indiana's favored over Oregon. Wasn't that much in the regular season game, that's for sure.
Oregon laid 7.5 at home.
Yeah.
So the fact that they've adjusted it, 12 points, you take out some home field, that's like 8 or 9 points of an adjustment relative to what the market thought of these teams in October. I mean, certainly Indiana's verified themselves with wins against Oregon, Ohio State, and Alabama, but it's not like Oregon's been, playing bums. They've had some good wins themselves. I feel like if anything, I would take the Ducks, but I have to dive more in. We'll talk about it, I guess, Wednesday?
Watching with my son Archie, he was very nervous. By the way, Tate, good job by you. You gave out Miami on the money line. I gave out under 40.5 in Oregon, Texas Tech for plus 310. Dante Moore, 26 for 33, 234, threw an interception. But Brandon Finney on defense, 2 picks and a fumble recovery. Is that the greatest game by a defender in playoff history? I thought he was getting a third there, Tate. That was he really stepped it up against Texas Tech.
And a true freshman, that's sort of been the story of the playoffs too. We've had a lot of true freshmen, Malachi, Tony, you kind of go down the list of all these guys and you're like, wow, I can't believe these are true freshmen making these type of plays. Yeah. I guess Sand was a redshirt freshman, but still the freshmen have been playing well. Finney was incredible in this game, but Texas Tech's offense, this is a team that averaged 42 points a game during the regular season. I could not believe they couldn't put any points on the board. And I'll be honest with you, Oregon let them in the game and let them hang around for way too long. It was consistently a 1-possession, 2-possession game, and they just couldn't get anything done. And then watching Baron Morton in the post game, crying because he grew up a Texas Tech fan and how upset he was, it kind of hurt my heart a little bit. I felt bad for him, but man, that offense was anemic at best, and that was a terrible game to watch. I don't know why Archie was worried, Sal, because they had no hope on offense.
They kept doing stupid things. They wouldn't put them away, and but if not for that end zone interception, it might have been a little closer. They were 4 for 8 on 4th down. It seemed like a lot worse, but again, the same 4th and 2. Just take a field goal. There's nothing wrong with being up 9-0. It's pretty good. You got a solid kicker, and the Big 12 though. I know Texas Tech. Then you look back at who they. All right, they beat BYU twice, Arizona,
Utah. That's about
what's
it.
the
Utah
bet
looked
here?
good against Nebraska, I guess. Yeah.
It's the classic story. It's like who do they beat? And they beat nobody. Therefore, the Oregon win doesn't mean anything because they didn't beat anybody either.
So maybe you're right, Dabbundo, because I'm like, oh, did the Big 12 have to have an automatic bid? Meanwhile, I want to move this to 16 teams, and I don't think every SEC team should get in. So I don't know.
And you don't want James
which way to
Madison or
go.
Tulane in, so you're left with who?
No doubt. So looking ahead, so Oregon is plus 320 to win it all. Miami, like we said, in the Fiesta Bowl Thursday, they're going to be what are they? What did we say? A 2.5-point favorite?
2.5,
Ole
yeah.
Miss. And IU is 4.5. That actually went up against Oregon in the Peach Bowl on Friday. Preliminary thoughts. We don't have to make a pick here. I don't think it's easy to take both favorites here. I would not do that.
Ole Miss for me. Outright.
I would love that. It's a great story if Ole Miss does it, Like, it's just
Really
so funny. And honestly, you mentioned it, Dabbundo. As soon as you sort of buy in and think that they are going to do something special, that's when, the other shoe drops for the most part, at least, in recent times and recent memory, especially with Carson Beck quarterbacking this team. The Louisville game this year was sort of the one where that comes to mind on that Friday night where he throws 4 interceptions. And there was a lot of conversation about him going out on Thursday night and all sort of stuff. So let's hope, he's playing on a Thursday, which means he can't go out on a Thursday. I'd be more worried
Where is
if they're
that
playing
game?
on Friday.
Where's the game?
That's Arizona, yeah. So that's the Fiesta Bowl.
Little Scottsdale trip.
Yeah, I was
Night
going to say
before the
Atlanta
game.
and Scottsdale are tough for Carson Beck. That concerns me. But I'll stick with my guns here. I'll still take Miami, and I still feel like Oregon's going to get the revenge game on Indiana. So I'll go Miami, Oregon. Gut check.
All right. Well, you didn't have to make a pick, for God's
Oh,
sake.
well,
I just said
whatever.
if the lines
I'll
jumped
change
out
it.
at you.
I'll change it by
Tate,
Tuesday.
you're in a good spot. Your ACC did enough with Miami, and it's a nice story if Ole Miss wins. Although I would take it easy for everybody who's like, Lane Kiffin. Like, this guy becomes a millionaire over again if Ole Miss goes far. So he's not really getting screwed too much. I still think Dabbundo, it's like in terms of the moving the goalposts, that's where the finish line is going to be for him and what he has to do for LSU. He is going to have to duplicate that with Ole Miss. But listen, we've talked enough college. We have pro football. We have our 107 picks. The hottest in the land, Dabbundo, 5-0 last week. We're going to do that when we come back on the other side of the break. We got that. We have our 2026 hot takes. We'll be back. Ringer Gambling Show. Stay with us. All right, we're back. Ringer Gambling Show. Cousin Sal here. Anthony Dabbundo, a.k.a. Tony Tokens. And joining us, the great Tate Frazier. Now, listen, we're going to do these 107 picks right now. Today's Ringer 107 is brought to you by FanDuel. The Handicapos, Dabbundo, you and I, we waved the white flag and threw in the towel. A lot of people are now saying threw in the white towel. And no one's correcting them. I read this, I hear this, and no, you wave the white flag, you throw in the towel. That's the sign of giving up, Dabbundo, right?
We're not giving up.
We're not giving up, although we did kind
We
of
did give up. But it was an art of war tactic.
Yeah, it was smart. Yeah,
It was
a good
guerrilla
tactic.
warfare. It was making the opponent think we gave up,
Right.
only to then spring
Right.
a counterattack that vaults us right on the verge of the top of the leaderboard.
They
2
thought it
games
was
out
a
of
white
first
flag.
place.
It was a white towel. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a white towel. We zagged. We zagged with the towel and flag stuff. We took all underdogs and we took them Thursday and Saturday. Like, we want to be done with this nonsense by Sunday. And what do you know? We went 5-0 with all underdogs on Christmas and whatever the Saturday game. So all sorts of playoff rules now laid out, Dabbundo, like they were obvious by the sports guy. I don't know what they are other than Raheem and the Bodega Locks will not be allowed to take the Super Bowl, will not go to overtime as their last bet. But you know what? It's not going to matter because we're going to crush it. So let's start now with Pittsburgh over Baltimore. That's our first pick. This is the game only really determining if a team gets in or not. Lamar is starting. We don't care, Tony Tokens. We're grabbing a 3.5.
Yeah, we're on Pittsburgh plus 3.5. I understand all the problems with the Steelers. I mean, their receiving core is a combination of players who haven't been good since 2020. Scotty Miller, Adam Thielen. You're looking around and it's like, oh, Jonnu Smith. Kind of scary. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Not loving the lineup that Rodgers has.
Every name
However,
you say makes me laugh. Dabbundo.
yeah, exactly. And the only good guys aren't playing. Metcalf, Washington are both out. So you're like, oh, man, this could be really ugly. But the market look ahead was like 1.5. Yeah. Now Baltimore has one good game. Pittsburgh has one bad game in Cleveland where everybody struggles, and now all of a sudden the line is 3.5. And I have just seen this movie way too many times to not play the odds here and take the Steelers, underdogs in this rivalry, underdogs are 3+ in this rivalry. Mike Tomlin, I could bore you with all the trends. I'm not going to do it. They all say that so much more often than not, these games play out lower scoring and close and tight. It will come down to some kind of tomfoolery. It might be Lamar fumbles a snap. It might be that a field goal gets missed or blocked or tipped or a punt gets returned or muffed. But somehow, some way, this game will be decided by 3 points. I like Pittsburgh.
Tomfoolery. I think you said it. Yeah, listen, it was we don't trust either of these teams. Good job by the Ravens exciting us last week on Christmas week against Green Bay, but don't trust either team. So we're taking the points. Seen too many 18-16s over the years between these two. All right, Tate, this is a game near and dear to your heart. I'm trying to figure out if the league made out on this Falcons deal. They wanted Tampa Bay, Carolina to be winner take all, but on the other hand, now they get an extra game that means something on Sunday, New Orleans, Atlanta, and they had to put this Tampa game on Saturday. Anyway, I spent far too much time thinking of these things. We're taking Tampa -3 over Carolina. We're hoping it went to 2.5. Carolina won 2 weeks ago, 23-20. Not much good I could say about the Bucs. They blow leads. They lose games against teams that they should bury at home. Baker's about 45% as effective as he was in September, October. Now, with all his weapons in place, too, they're 0-8 against the spread in the last 8. And yet, back to the well once more, Dabbundo. I would actually take a push on this at this point. I just felt that we had to take both Saturday games after our crowning achievement last week. Carolina, though, hasn't won in Tampa in 7 years. Baker's won 3 of those. Bryce is 4-9 when facing an opponent that they beat the previous meeting. He had 54 yards passing last week in a game that the Panthers needed. Todd Bowles could be playing for his job. I think Tampa's better and they need it more. Help me out, Dabbundo. I don't feel like I sold the off-menu specials too well.
Well, first question. If the Bucs do lose and Baker plays badly and they miss the playoffs, would you get a Steven Ruiz cutout to put behind it?
Because Baker holding up number 16.
I saw one in Target. I passed on it, but yeah,
16 might be too high for how he's played the second half of the
16's
season.
too high now. Yeah, 16's too high. Yes, I think it is.
With that being said, I kind of agree. I mean, the two teams played 2 weeks ago. Tampa Bay closed -3 in Carolina. So now it's -3 at home. And in that game, Carolina couldn't run the ball at all. That's their thing. When the Panthers run it, and they run it well, they win. But it's traditionally pretty tough to do against the Bucs. The Bucs run defense is still very good. Their secondary stinks. But ultimately, I'm in agreement here. I mean, I think if you wait, you might get 2.5 by kickoff on Sunday. So maybe hang on. But we got 3 for the contest. I'm happy to do it. And also, I think we're head-to-head with Simmons and House because I think they took Carolina.
Okay, Tate, this is a nice spot for you and your Panthers. Good job by you. I think they're -390 to win the division because they don't even need to win this game if Atlanta takes care of business on
That's the most
Sunday.
Panthers way to get in the playoffs, right? They lose at Tampa Bay in crushing, heartbreaking fashion, and then somehow the Falcons win in overtime against the Saints, right? And that is the way that the Panthers get in the playoffs. That's
What's
how it
the
feels.
odds on that? Let's see if that's so you say 154. All right, it's not that great. It's +157 that Tampa wins and Atlanta wins. But good spot. You would have traded this. I mean, you never would have thought. I know Raheem cashed out on this, so maybe not yet, but Carolina to win the division. So you're feeling pretty happy about this.
Yeah, of course. I'm happy for Bryce Young. I feel like Bryce has gone through a lot. It is weird. Like when Carolina is counted out, that's when they play their best football. So maybe this weekend, when everyone thinks Tampa Bay is going to win, they actually show up and play a good game. And Bryce is able to carve up that secondary a little bit. I do feel like he's gotten a lot better keeping his eyes down the field. It used to be when pressure got in the pocket, he just looked down and basically just fell down and took the sack. He's had some better moments over the past couple of weeks, especially against the Bucs. 2 weeks ago, Seattle humbled him again. Maybe he has a bounce back week, but I still feel good about Tampa Bay -3, so I'm with you guys.
All right.
I don't know,
Pittsburgh
Sal.
+3.5, Tampa -3. Go ahead, Dabbundo.
Have you and Simmons discussed the shaky situation? Because I think Carolina is the heavy favorite.
I sent out what I thought it would be. So it would be Carolina. I'll tell you who's got potential, Shaky's potential. Chargers, Bills. You look at it, the 4 or 5 has to be a Monday. So
Right.
I know
I
they
think
wanna
Baltimore,
screw with the
Pittsburgh will be
whoever they play, right?
Yeah.
Houston, but yes, okay, that's probably it. But if it's Carolina, the Rams, or something like that, not necessarily a Shakey's game. I'm not sure, but Yeah, they always want to point to the Souths if they can. Let's hit our third game. Seattle -1.5 over San Francisco. We figured we had to take the Saturday games. Winner gets the 1, loser gets the 5 or the 6, depending on what the Rams do. If you're San Francisco, is that right? Who cares? Both are going to try. Sam Darnold, 26 wins in 2 years, in the exact spot he was in last year with the Vikings. Dabbundo, win and grab the 1 or lose, and well, we saw what happened last year. We like his chances against the 49ers defense.
Yeah, I like anybody's chances against the 49ers defense, and that's really what this comes down to. I mean, it's true that these two offenses are trending in opposite directions. The Niners, second EPA per play since week 12. Seattle's out to 19th. So there has been a little bit of some creakiness for Seattle, especially in the red zone. But really, I think the biggest difference here is just pressure rate. We know that we don't trust Sam Darnold under pressure. However, Sam Darnold will not be pressured very often in this game. The Niners are 30th in pressure rate. They are 31st in success rate. It is very easy to sit back and pick apart this defense. Look at Phillip Rivers on Monday night, Caleb Williams on Sunday night. We've seen this defense really struggle consistently. On the other side of it, as great as Purdy has played, we know that Mike McDonald and that defense will be able to dial up pressure consistently. That'll make the difference here. I like the Seahawks, and I know we're in agreement. I think all three of us.
Yeah.
A little family play.
I think so. So much so that FanDuel asked us to make a same game parlay. Dabbundo, your leg's going to be Seattle, -1.5. Mine is going to be McCaffrey, 50 or more receiving yards, +124. It's been a while since he pulled this off, about a month, but he has hit 50 plus 10 times and caught for 73 in the first matchup. So he's the man. He's got to be the man for San Francisco to have a shot. And Tate, you're throwing in a touchdown prop here.
Yeah, Zach Charbonnet. I feel good. He's looked good over the past couple of weeks. It's either him or Walker. It's kind of like your turn, my turn in that backfield. And I think Dabundo's right. The fact that the 49ers really can't put pressure on Darnold makes Darnold way more of a threat. And I feel like if he gets the passing game going, that opens up the run game. And then from there, it's this is a much better team than it was in week 1. And they had a real chance in week 1 to get the win. I think the defense is a lot better. Obviously, San Francisco is playing some great football right now. But I just feel like Seattle's due. And I think Darnold knows how much winning and getting a home field advantage will mean for him in the playoffs. Yeah. He learned that lesson last year. So he's been on a redemption tour. He got Minnesota. He got the Carolina Panthers. This is his third strike of going after his old teams and getting a win. So I think he gets it done against San Francisco.
It's kind of a weird thing, right? Because I know the players and definitely, obviously, the fans want that home game. But Mike McDonald's like, hey, man, I'm pretty unbeatable on the road. Let's see how far we can take it this.
Right.
All right, so FanDuel, we've accepted the challenge. The SGP is Seattle -1.5. McCaffrey, 50-plus receiving yards. And Tate threw in Charbonnet to score a touchdown, +598 for that. Good job. All right, our fourth pick, Minnesota over Green Bay, -7.5. Sometimes a line looks so ridiculous you have to jump on. And the bettors have moved this to Max Brosmer, -7.5 against another NFL team. It doesn't even really matter, but it's -7.5. That team is the Packers, right, who are locked into a 7 seed and not starting anyone, including Jordan Love, who's ready, or Malik Willis, who is not ready. Vikings, though, Dabbundo, since December 1st, 4-0 straight up, 4-0 against the spread. Packers, 1-8 against the number versus teams under 500. To me, this is Brian Flores' defense over Clayton Tune. Yes, that's the name of the guy who's going to be quarterback for Green Bay. Starting for the Pack. I think this will be like 24-3 before anyone knows what hit them. And that's why we're taking Max Brosmer laying 7.5. Dabbundo, quickly, let's go to our fifth game. Cincinnati, -7.5 over Cleveland. We've got 2 -7.5s. That's unheard of. We really are different people in 2026.
We've become new gamblers alike, honestly. And Cleveland, we had him last week, or at least talked about him last week on the Sunday pregame show because we banned Sunday games. But the pattern is very clear now. And honestly, you could just get rich doing this. I'm going to give away a little insider trading secret. Oh. My model says that if the Browns are at home, you bet the Browns. And if the Browns are on the road, you bet against the Browns. And that model has hit 14 times this year. So here's the reality. And neutral games are excluded. Pass. So ultimately, as much as we love this Cleveland defense at home, they are one of the worst offenses of the last decade as a whole in terms of DVOA, in terms of success rate. And now they're all injured too. I mean, the good players aren't even playing. Judkins is out, Fadden is out, and Njoku's probably out. So you're looking around, you're like, okay, we have an offense that can't really score. We have a defense that doesn't really travel. And Cincinnati, to their credit, we made all those jokes early in the season. about their defense, and rightfully so. They were on a path to be historically bad since week 12. They have turned it around. They're closer to league average defensively. So I think this is a classic Cincinnati route spot. They're going to be motivated to run it up at home for the fans. Cleveland, they got their big win last week. They're going to mail it in this week. Yeah, Cincinnati rolls. Our picks, by the way, very aligned with our friends Bill and House. I listened to their segment this morning. It's not good. It's not good.
Well, I thought you said they have Carolina. Oh, all right. Well, listen, this one. I mean, the Bengals seem to have righted the ship, 82-35 combined score last 2 weeks, and the Brown ship has been stuck in the bottom of the ocean for decades. So, all right, we're going to lay the points, and we're going to take a break here. Boy, do we have a lot coming up. We have player props on the other side of the break and our New Year's hot takes for 2026. We're going to do that when we get back on the Ringer Gambling Show. All right, we're back. Ringer Gambling Show. Cousin Sal, Tate Frazier is here. Anthony Dabbundo, Tony Tokens, and I gave you our Ringer 107 after going 5-0. We are proud and we are optimistic about this week. I should say today's Ringer 107 was brought to you by FanDuel. Odds are subject to change. Let's dive into player props. Tate, Jamar Chase, 2+ touchdowns, plus 500. I gave this out on the Ringer pregame show last week, and it hit. I hope you have just as much success.
Yeah, I'm going for it. I feel like Dabbundo mentioned it before the break. This is a game for Cincinnati to get the fans to believe in the future. And this is one of those things where Joe Burrow wants to have fun. What does he have fun doing? Throwing touchdowns to his guy, Jamar Chase. So feels like it's right there for the taking. The Browns don't travel well. And I think Jamar Chase wants to send some optimism to his fan base there in Cincinnati. So 2+ touchdowns, plus 500. Let's do it again. Let's run it back up, Sal.
All right. Dabbundo, you have a touchdown prop too. This would help us.
Yeah, Saturday afternoon. Sorry, Tate, but Mike Evans plus 150 to score a touchdown. The Panthers have really struggled against wide receiver ones this year. Top 5 in receptions allowed, and also since coming back, Evans' target share in the red zone has gone back to what we are used to seeing with him. So I think this is a pretty good number. Hopefully, the Bucs offense can sort some things out because they have been, shall we say, disappointing.
Mm-hmm. All right, Chargers are sitting there, guys, going up against this Broncos team who needs to win to hold on to that 1 seed. Trey Lance is the quarterback for L.A. He has 13 passes this year, no interceptions. I say he throws one on Sunday. Last year had 25 passes and 1 interception. This is shocking to me. But guess what? He has to play a full game now, and he has to do so against the Broncos' first-string defense. 3rd best in the league. They're bummed they have to play this game. They want to get in and get out. Vance Joseph is hearing whispers of his decline. He's pissed. Dre Greenlaw should suit up for this. The Broncos have 9 picks. They're going to grab their 10th off of Trey Lance in the second quarter, and you're going to collect on your minus 140. By the way, not enough is made of what the 49ers did to get Trey Lance, and it didn't set them back 15 years. Tate, any team you rooted for, if they pulled that, what did they give up? How many firsts? 16, 17 firsts? Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I'm already living with the consequences of the Sauce Gardner trade that we made.
Yes,
and it hasn't even hit yet. It's already made me nervous and anxious and sad.
It happened,
and it hasn't even been taking effect yet. Yeah,
maybe Trey Lance could be the Ewing theory. Like that could be its own Ewing theory, right? Like you overpay for a player who you has nothing to do with the organization, and all you do is win and win, as the 49ers have done.
We in Sixer land we call that the Bynum theory. Trading for Andrew Bynum, which started the process, which started everything of the last 10 years of Sixers basketball. Yeah, we don't talk about that era much, but it is the Bynum effect.
All right. Listen, I thought second day of 2026 now, I think we should get all of our hot takes out of the way. I know we like to sprinkle them on through the calendar year, but there's something refreshing about, letting loose and putting out that hot takes, and maybe some will catch fire. And I'll even assign odds to some of these. Tate, you hit us with your first hot take for 2026. What's it going to be?
This is near and dear to my heart, but a lot of people have been dumping on my boy, both my guys. Michael Lombardi, Bill Belichick, of course, is who I'm talking about here. I'm going to take Bill Belichick. Will make a bowl game in 2026. It's official. Ooh. I did not say he will win a bowl game, but he will make a bowl game. And it might be because he won 5 games and they want him in the bowl system and they ask him to come play a bowl game. But again, he will make a bowl game. So there will be some redemption this year for Bill Belichick and my guy Lombardi. So that's my big prediction in the sports world right there for you, Sal.
I'm going to have to say this isn't as hot as I would have thought coming off. It's probably about
pretty hot.
plus 160. Well, considering they might take Carolina at 4-8 in a bowl, the way that everyone's opting out here. But I don't know. What do you think of that, Dabbundo?
future Giants coach Bill Belichick wins Super Bowl in first year? That would
Oh,
be quite
that's
elite.
right. No, but he said in
We'd be happy
2026,
for
so
him.
it'd have to be a bowl game in 2020. He's not getting a New Year's bowl game. Anyway. All right,
Right.
Dabbundo, hit us with yours.
Maybe the Pro Bowl. I'm going to go with England wins the World Cup. And I know that anybody who knows soccer is like, oh, here we go. England football's coming home. But look, they finally have a manager that's going to maximize their talent. They finally have a system in place tactically that is going to be better at pressing and winning the ball off opponents. They're an elite defense. They have depth, and they have new guys coming through the pipeline to supplement the missing pieces that they've had and come just short of getting to the top in recent years. So I think England football's coming home, is going to win the World Cup this year.
Okay. I mean, I guess there are actual odds on that. I don't have to adjust any, right? What would real quick?
Probably like 6-1.
About 6 or 7 to 1. Okay, that's what I saw.
You want to hear my second one?
Kind of
No,
tasty.
no. Let's go. Let's each get one out, and we'll game.
Yeah,
show
you're
this.
dodging it
All
because you don't want to.
Well, I'll throw one out here. Mike Tomlin will coach the Atlanta Falcons next year. That's my pick. I think he leaves the Steelers. He's not a dumb man. He's not going to go to take the Miami job or something like that. I know Troy Aikman's going to do his best. I think he goes to Atlanta. He says, "Hey, I'm 8-9. I'm 9-8 every year. Guess what wins that NFC South? 8-9 or 9-8. I'm going to take this Falcons team. I like the quarterback. I like the offense. We're going to score for me. I'm going to see something we haven't seen. Points from the offense, and that's going to be it. Mike Tomlin takes it. That's my hot take for 2026. Tate, do you have another one?
Yeah, I got another one. I think The Odyssey coming out this summer, Christopher Nolan. I'll say this now. The critics and the film nerds are going to try to ruin this movie for all of us. So that's one of my biggest hot takes of the summer. This should be a lot of fun. We should all be going to enjoy The Odyssey. This is, again, a fictional film, but they're going to try their best to make us hate this movie, Sal. They're going to try to dump on Christopher Nolan. They don't like to see this man succeed and make great movies for the masses. And again, they're going to go after his neck. So just, putting it out there. The Odyssey will be fun. It will be good. But the film nerds are going to say it's bad. So just get prepared that The Odyssey will be under attack this summer. Just
Okay.
pointing that out.
Tate
Not on
Frazier
my
plus
radar at all.
800 to make an
Yeah.
appearance on The Big Picture in 2026.
Oh, is that what this is about, Tate?
No, I'm
He's
just telling
auditioning.
you.
All
They,
right.
they get upset. They talk junk about my boy Chris Nolan. I got to defend him.
All right.
Not
My
good.
Odyssey was that lateral with 6 seconds left of the guy coming out of the end zone 9.5 yards deep.
10 years
You were
to
on the
get back from
boat
that one.
rowing,
Yes.
watching it as it
I
went to
need
the
at least-
pylon.
Need at least a decade. Dabbundo, hit us with your second hot take.
Netflix and chill becomes the primary consumption method of Guess the Lines with Bill and Sal on Sunday nights.
Ooh, there you go.
Wow. What do we? I don't know if I could chill with Bill because after hearing him going crazy about Drake May again with that my Boston beanie cap on. I don't know. So how's this going to work, Dabbundo?
Well, we're going to have to talk to Austin Gale, our audience engagement
Okay.
manager, and we'll have to see, what the consumption looks like on Netflix. But yeah, I think there's going to be couples and people everywhere across America falling asleep to guess the lines on Sunday nights after football. Football night in America, Sunday night football, and then GTL and chill.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. All right. You're
I'm excited.
Your mouth to
I'm not saying
God's
I'm
ears.
partaking in this, but
No,
I'm
no,
not
of
not
course
saying it either.
No, and the consumption will not involve pizza because Simmons has swore off carbs. So when you talk about audience consumption, although
Just
that is
imagine
one of
making out
my-
with your girlfriend while Bill's talking about Drake May. I mean, come on. It's good stuff.
3.5. Oh, I said 2.5. It's 5.5. Oh, so many babies going to be conceived. It's going to be sickening. All right, I'm going to throw another one out there. Baron Trump will be
Oh,
on
no.
the White House UFC undercard this summer. The one going on right on the White House lawn.
July
He's gonna
4th,
say,
2026.
That's it. He's like, Daddy, I want in. What can they do? And Dana White's going to be like, all right, is there a custodian on the White House grounds that he could fight? And, over 60, 70 years old? Like, yep, let's set it up. Baron beats him with a rear naked chokehold, and that's it. Then the custodian is taken away by ICE, and that'll be that.
He's got a long reach. Yeah, he's got good reach. Yeah.
Want to know?
Pretty good.
I mean, he's like
A real
he's
hooper,
like-
I've heard.
It's like 7'4" or something crazy. All right, good luck, Baron Trump, on the White House lawn. That's going to be fun. Do we have any others? I have one more, but Dabbundo, do you have anything else?
Mine was that LeBron James will play his final basketball game as a professional.
Okay. I mean, it's either next year or this year or
Please.
next, right?
We've been
Please.
saying that for 10 years, though. So
I can't do a retirement tour, so I think that would be good for everybody. Just let it go.
Well,
yeah,
so
there's never been
then-
any other high-profile basketball retirement tours, Tate.
We've seen too many. Kobe was a bridge too far, honestly, and then Coach K ruined it. And then I feel like LeBron's going to definitely try his own. So we'll see what happens.
It's not going to be 2026 though. Dabbundo, you're saying the 2026 season will be his last. Is that what you're saying?
No. I think he's done after this year.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
he thinks
after
this is
this
the
year. Oh,
I think he is too. I'm with you.
We don't see
Dabbundo.
him after they lose the play-in. Interesting. Okay. All right. That's fun. What else do I have here? Magic Johnson's going to set the record for exclamation points in tweets. He's got his Dodgers, he's got his Lakers, everything LeBron does. I mean, if
He was at the
LeBron
Rose Bowl
retires,
yesterday.
He's at the Rose Bowl, everything, World Cup, he'll make that his. But I think he's going to run for political office in June. He's going to be the mayor. Something Karen Bass is going to be like, I've had enough of this. Magic, step up. He does it. And then exclamation point city. Magic Johnson. That's my hot take for 2026.
I can't wait till the aggregators. Cousin Sal endorses Magic Johnson for mayoral run.
It's probably about 14-1, only because I made a hot take. I'm definitely endorsing it.
I'm voting
That's
for
good.
him. That's
we
for sure.
good? We have any more? I mean, that's a lot for people to consume. The Netflix and chill.
I had one just for Ringer Tailgate. I just I hope that here's my prediction. Joel will still be on the show when we start next season. Every single episode, Joel's on his own journey of maybe getting himself canned from the show. He's trying to fight Lane Kiffin and everything. So my bold prediction is he still will be on the show next season. So fingers crossed.
That's a good one.
My bold prediction: Ringer Tailgate goes to a tailgate.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
That's what we need. That's what the people need.
Oh yeah.
Hey, how about
sure.
this? Dabbundo, next high-profile Ringer personality to get engaged. Tate, we took care of 2025. Dabbundo, I don't know. Or maybe at a World Cup game, you meet your mate. Maybe a Venezuelan woman. I have no idea.
Increasingly unlikely, Sal. I had to say it. Yeah.
All right.
You never know. You never know.
You're 27,
you gotta keep your options
Dabbundo.
open.
You got
You got to
time.
keep looking around. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
You got 5 years at least.
Yeah, no, you got 1 year because I made this my pick. You got basically 11 months to get this done. All right, listen, let's take a break. On the other side, maybe these weren't good bets. We have our best bets coming up. Ringer Gambling Show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. We got no time left. Too much Magic Johnson exclamation point talk. Best bets, Dabbundo, Michigan State, Nebraska, under 143.5.
Yes, somehow Nebraska undefeated. But here's the big key. Michigan State, really good in transition. Nebraska, good at denying transition. That'll be the big key here. This game will be played in the half court. And also, Nebraska forced teams to shoot. Michigan State, not great there.
We need Tate's pick. Seattle plus 23.5.
Yeah, they beat Washington. They beat Washington State. They cover against Gonzaga, so you can get that at minus 110. So
Mississippi State minus 3.5. Duke's Mayo Bowl. Kamario Taylor goes nuts. Thank you, Ringer Gambling Show. Happy New Year. Must be 21 or older and present in select states, or 18 or older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. You must be 21 or older and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 or older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG, 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 877-8-HOPE-NEW YORK or text HOPE New York in New York